Not exactly. I'll go into the deck tech in like 30 seconds here. But I had someone ship me a list. Hey folks, Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU University here. First, an announcement for the YouTube folks. Though I normally upload every deck list, every stream that I play to YouTube, one of the ones from today had some issues on Twitch's end and was randomly broken up into about 3 different videos. If you want to watch the liquid metal coating stream that I did earlier today, I will post the link below directly to Twitch down in the comments so you can watch it there. Otherwise, I have to upload it in 3 parts due to some awkwardness on their end, and I'm just gonna not do that. All right. So, moving on to today's stuff. From one of our stream goals earlier today, we decided to do an Enchantress stream. So, thank you very much to... Oh, no. Oh, totally blanking. The Witch House? Nope, that's the name of the deck. Spatula of the Ages. There we go. Thank you very much to Spatula of the Ages for shipping me this deck list. I made very few changes to it. So the goal here is to try out Destiny Spinner. So Destiny Spinner does a couple of things. One, it makes all your stuff uncounterable, which is sweet. 2, it's still an enchantment, so it still has synergy with the rest of your deck. 3, it's also just a win condition. Turning a land you control into an XX elemental creature with trample and haste is kind of crazy when you consider how many enchantments this deck often has in play by the end of the game. And Jay the Mind Sculptor, thank you very much for your support. I really do appreciate it. You are the first sub of the evening stream here. So the other thing that we're trying out is Klothys, God of Destiny. So it's kind of like a weird Deathrite Shaman style card, where at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you exile a card from the graveyard. If it's a land, you add red or green to your mana pool. Otherwise, you gain 2, and you deal 2 damage to each opponent. I'm not convinced this card is good enough, but Spatula of the Ages said, if you want to get a little spicy, throw that in there. So, obviously I did. I think I subbed an Ancient Tomb in their deck list for a Taiga, so I could cast that if I ran into some situation where I couldn't actually produce the red mana. And then I swapped 2 cards in the sideboard I didn't like for Carpet of Flowers, because, boy, I love Carpet of Flowers. No, exile target card from a graveyard. Nether Void plus Spinner Meme. Nether Void. I see. I didn't know the exact wording. So that's super funny. So Nether Void says all spells are countered unless the casters pay an additional 3. And excuse me, Destiny Spinner says that your creature and enchantment spells can't be countered. Fornia, thank you very much for your subscription. I really appreciate the support. We're about 3 minutes into this stream and we already have 2 subs. Very much appreciated. Do we put a Nether Void in here for the lulz? I'm not gonna do it, but it's tempting. Alright, so I say it and then the first thing that's in chat is just like, yes, only if you want to meme. Alright. Card Hoarder to the rescue. Nether Void, 1 tick, check out, deliver it directly into my veins, Card Hoarder. Alright, we'll pull a card from the sideboard for that. I don't think we want to play it in the main deck. Maybe we could play it in the main deck over the Colossus and we'll put the Colossus in the sideboard or something. Pull the second Doomwake Giant. Pulling the second Doomwake Giant's probably safe. Alright, I'm in. Chat influencing me to make bad decisions already. Good job, chat. Keep it up. No, I think the Mindbreak traps are probably pretty good right now with all the breach that's running around. Alright, card hoarder. Getting me my cards in less than a minute after I order them. Huge shout outs to them. I literally could not do all of the shenanigans that I do on stream without their support. Alright. So we go Nether Void, jam that sucker right on in there. And then Enchantress 2. Let me update Cardboard Live and we'll go into it here. Yeah. I don't think any version that I've played has actually had a second Doomwake Giant. I'm not used to having two. Cut Carpet. But Carpet is so sweet. I was sent a deck list without Carpet, and I threw Carpet in there because I love it. So what technically makes it the Witch House? Because that's something I've seen Spatula of Ages stream under that name. Witch House, I see. So, in the High Tide stream last night, we played against Enchantress, and we had an absolutely crazy win against them. That, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty proud of. But Destiny Spinner seemed pretty good there. The High Tide VOD is pretty amusing. We get savaged pretty bad in one of the rounds. The rest are pretty good. The Enchantress match from that video is probably my favorite. Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it. Hope you all are doing well tonight on your Friday night. For those of you who maybe can't make it out to an F&M or equivalent tonight, you get to watch me hopefully bully some people with some giant lands. Here we go. Yeah. I mean, the old matchup knowledge is definitely that High Tide is highly, highly favored versus D&T. The same might not be true now. All right, looks like we're playing against lands of some nature. There's a couple different flavors it could be. Time zone differences. I think I'm just going to want a bunch of green to start with. I'll have a bunch of white off of Sarah's Sanctum. Excellent, Dr. Bill. Was that like the 5-0 list that was floating around? Okay. So we get to just, like, start going here. So we'll play an Enchantress this turn. Then we'll play a land. And we'll cast an Abundant Growth. Plague Engineer would be pretty okay against me right now. Just saying. I've lost to a Plague Engine. What? But it's not like I kill quickly. I mean, we take those, but... Like, I don't get it. Alright, so what do we have for lands? Not choke, probably. So Rest in Peace is going to be great. I might add a Knight of Autumn into the deck just to have it for any number of random things that my opponent could be playing, such as Sylvan Library. If I bring in Rip, I need to board out Replenish. Just, like, not a combo, obviously. My Elephant Grass, I guess, saves me against a Merit Lodge. Seal of Primordium isn't amazing. My opponent isn't even going to cast that many spells. I'm thinking it's one of these two that comes out. Like, Oblivion Ring is more flexible than Seal. Oblivion Ring can also hit something like Tireless Tracker that my opponent might board in. I like Knight better than Seal, because Knight can be found via Green Sun when we need it. And, like, it can also just be a 4/3 if we need a clock. So we do have a main deck Ground Seal, by the way, that's also very good versus Life from the Loam decks. We don't have white mana yet, but I'm absolutely keeping this hand. No Life from the Loam here. Only Nether Void. Sorry, no Doomwake Giant here, only Nether Void. So one thing I want to be cognizant of in this matchup is where I am putting my enchantments for Rishadan-Port reasons. You don't just want to load up on one land so that you lose out on just tons and tons and tons of mana to a Rishadan-Port. No, I think a hand with Rest in Peace is probably going to be a keep a huge percentage of the time. Yeah, so like there's our white mana for Rest in Peace next turn. Please don't find Dark Depths this turn. Give me a little time. Ooh, just taking the natural draw there. Uh-oh. How turbo we going? Pretty turbo. Yikes, indeed. So I am just dead if my opponent goes for it, which they have no reason not to. Well, Destiny Spinner would just start making, like, 4/4 creatures that I would attack with every turn. So no, we can't play anything else here. We need to at least represent some sort of removal. My opponent's probably going for it here. But if they don't, I have to at least try. So, like, if they didn't have the Dark Depth there and I shut off, like, the Life from the Loam engine, we would have been very favored over time, I think. Yeah, we have to represent something like a Swords to Plowshares. Is this an instant? The answer to that is no, but you know what I meant. Maybe Cast Out should be in over an Oblivion Ring. Yeah, let's do that. It's going to be a pass for me. Yes, this is fine. I'll keep this. We're not ready for Elephant Grass yet, so I'll go ahead and pitch that. Library is strong. Yeah, Grass stops Big Squiddy, but, like, we'll hope to get one of those a bit later, right? No, this is not my favorite forest. This is the first forest that was randomly chosen for me. So I have 1, 2 mana. I have 3 mana once I play Enchantress's Presence. But I can play 1 other Wild Growth effect, and it's just free if I want. Otherwise, I can keep them for draws. Keeping them for draws might be better than just, like, trying to get 1 more in play this turn. Hello, hello, and welcome. Thank you very much for the bits. Hope you're enjoying your slightly longer than normal weekend. Next turn, it's probably going to feel like we're playing Elves and we cast a Glimpse of Nature. Because we already have, like, 2 draws that are also going to potentially accelerate our mana as well. And a whole bunch of bonus mana. Nice. So let's tap this. I'm going to go ahead and name white with 1 of those. So now the question is, at what point do I just want to play the Serra's Sanctum? I think the answer is now. I could coax more mana out of it, but I don't know that that's necessarily what I want here. So I think I'm going to go 3, preserve the green that I have, and get extra draws out of my Wild Growth. Gutshut the Bob, thank you very much for that support. You are the third stream of the night. Sorry, the third sub of the night. That means I'm going to have to go and add an Esper Vile stream into the queue. Let's do that now while I'm thinking about it. Goal, Esper Vile. So we may see my opponent Ghost Quarter this land to just knock a bunch of mana off it. Nope, they did not. Let's draw some cards, shall we? Two more green available. Yeah, so let's just cast that with this. Always yield to that. So this is green, green. Probably want to preserve my green. Tap this now. So let's get a spinner out there. I don't hate drawing that. No, I very much doubt that this is land's worst matchup. I want to blow up their Sylvan Library. That cost me 3 mana. I don't necessarily have to do it yet, but that's definitely something that I'm going to do this turn. So let's Wild Growth of Forest, redraw some cards. So now I can have 6 mana. I can use 3 Oblivion Ring of Mox Diamond, 3 Night of Autumn of Sylvan Library. I currently have nothing that lets me get a kill. So I'm going to do this kind of in the opposite order. Oh man, I wish I could split this across phases. But I'm 1 mana short of splitting this across phases. Double Krot Rot is something that's going to beat me. Alright, so I guess because it gives us draws, let's O-Ring first. Perfect, 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 perfect. So now we'll nug the Sylvan Library with that. This means that we won't die to a Merit Lodge. Black creatures can't attack me, just like period, full stop. Nice, and another Elephant Grass. Arkin, thank you very much for the support here, my friend. I hope your stream went well. We're drawing a lot of cards. I'm enjoying it. We are about to make some very large elementals and kill our opponent. But first, some grass. Hello everyone who's just tuning in. My name's Phil Gallagher. I run Thraben University, and today we are playing with Enchantress featuring Destiny Spinner and Clothis. Now I'm going to discard a whole bunch of cards. I've already played a land. I have already played a land. Oh yeah, we have some fun toys in here. And as chat requested, we added a spicy Nether Void to the sideboard. We are just starting off, so the stream is pretty fresh here. I wonder if they don't know that black creatures can't attack. That usually doesn't come up, and you just pay 2 to attack, and that's that. I mean, they could also just be playing towards, like, drawing a Krosan Grip. Alright. Discard a land. Discard a land. Discard a land. I still have so many cards. Discard an Enchantress. Discard Abundant Growth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Discard an Enchantress's Presence. Discard a Green Sun. Land K-Grip on Elephant Grass would be pretty savage. Nice. Elephant Grass. Very strong. And we start out the day with a W. Yeah, an opponent would have been very dead to just a Destiny Spinner activation off words Serra Sanctum. I would have generated a huge amount of mana and just killed them with elementals. I believe we 4-1 with liquid metal coating. Opponent says, hello, good luck, and hello, Archon viewers, too. Repeat. I think this one's a mulligan. Like, we can play turn 2 Sterling Grove, sack it on turn 3, get a Enchantress effect going, but I'd rather just start with some of this stuff in my opening hand. Hey, I don't have Dryad Arbor. I don't have Dryad Arbor. So this is not a ramp spell. This hand is just worse. Yikes. So that's going back. And I guess that's going back. I need to keep the Misty, actually. Taiga's going to go back. Bayou's going to go back. Because the Misty gives us access to Savannah for Oblivion Ring. Alright. More Merit Laji goodness. Ooh. JK. It's Eldrazi. That's going to be pretty good against me. Rude Eternal, thank you very much for following. We need the Enchantress effect here. We will take that. I probably don't want the other lands that are there, so I'll play out the Misty. And in retrospect, I really should have considered leaving the Enchantress's presence on top to play around Thought-Knots here. And just drawn another land that I didn't want this turn. I do not care about that. I have plenty of forests. Destiny Spinner has 3 toughness. That's pretty okay. Seal of Primordium is what I want on top of my library. I'm going to draw the Destiny Spinner here. All of these cards green. Here we go. The Karn Oko list went well. The VOD is not on YouTube, it is only on Twitch. But it's pretty good. So we have left Seal of Primordium on top to get rid of the Chalice. And we have our first draw effect available. Oh, Spinner also handles Chalice. Good point. So I currently have access to 5 mana. So I can just go Enchantress's Presence followed by Destiny Spinner, draw these cards. I don't think we need to worry about protecting Spinner just yet. Like, my opponent has to be playing main deck Dismember. So let's do it like this. General question, what's your position on the Bug Delver versus Blue-Red Delver matchup? Alright, Blink, I think you've been in here enough to know that I don't play very many Delvers. So I could give you an opinion, but it would be something that I'm making off the top of my head with, like, 0 matchup experience. Mats, I was thinking about leaving mana floating for drawing a card, and then I realized the mana was white. So it was, like, actually just a misplay. do like having multiple elephant grasses. Where's your chalices now? This is fun. So I've not played a land yet. I can just play an abundant growth on a forest. So many cards. Now I only have white left. Can blow up Seal at any point on Chalice or Ballista if I have to. Thank you. And thank you very much for the deck list, more generally speaking. Now you want to destroy that. Okay. I mean, we have plenty of relatively hateful cards in our deck. Oh, this is going to be good. How much is this tapping for? 3 mana. So next turn, I will Doomwake Giant and replenish, and it will be gross and disgusting, and I'll have a lot of fun. Have I played a land? I feel like I've played a land. I haven't played a land. I wish I would have realized that a little bit earlier. Because then I could have started Doomwake shenanigans. The Sarah Cannon only gets me replenished right now, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. But this doesn't untap the land, right? Yeah, it does not untap the land. So keeping that in mind, Sword Equip, thank you very much for your continued support as well. Alright. So we'll discard some lands. So I can let 2 of these die, and then I just need to play 2 more enchantments to wipe the field. That's easy. So let's junk an Abundant Growth, a Destiny Spinner, a Green Sun. Oh, how about a Sterling Grove? You get in there, and another Green Sun. Is Replenish a good Magic card? Yes or no? You have an Eldrazi Mimic. I didn't want to telegraph the giant. I wanted to cast it. I wanted that satisfaction. If I'm being completely honest with you. Nice. Alright, I have a lot of mana. Whee! GG. Yeah, that's how you beat some squids. Alright, what do we have for this matchup? That's removal. That's removal. Probably don't need that. I don't know that I need even more of that effect. We're probably not going to sideboard that many cards, honestly. So, like, I don't need this Ground Seal. That just draws a card. And then I would just need to cut one other thing. We have some Mind Break traps for variety for Storms. So I could just cut one of my 1-drops to just be slightly better at playing around a Chalice. So like I could cut the one of Miri's Guile, or like one of the Abundant Growths or something. Destiny Spinner is so sweet versus Chalice. That was not something that I had quite conceptualized before it just happened in match there. So my opponent has mulliganed. This hand does not have any ramp. This hand does not really have anything. Like, I get a lot of redraws, but I don't think I have any primary game plan. So I'm going to go ahead and ship this one. This one I like better. So I go Wildgrowth Forest, turn 1, turn 2, Green Sun for Dork, and go. This is a keep. I'm going to pitch the Solitary Confinement. It's an amazing card in the matchup, but I don't think we're ready for it yet. We'll hope to shuffle our library and redraw it later. we're batting 1,000 right now. Oh, geez, just take 10. Alright. Super punished for my decision of not playing Utopia Sprawl last turn. So, Destiny Spinner theoretically can hold back the Eldrazi Mimic, but that is not true if my opponent just plays another big fatty. So, I'm going to hope they don't have another big fatty so that I can O-ring Reality Smasher and try to do something from there. We don't technically just die. We're just in very bad shape. Nice. Oh, baby. I like it. And we're going. I'm going to go ahead and play the Elephant Grass first. See what we draw into. And you know, just like that, it feels like we're pretty close to turning this one around. Like, obviously, I don't know what my opponent has in hand. But they can use their turn to attack me for 2. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and just take that. It shuts off my fetch land in hand, and future fetch lands. But then we can clear the board. So since I am going to O-ring this, I'm not going to pay for that. I think. Reality Smasher off the top would be awkward if I don't pay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. It's enough for Enchantress's Presence, followed by O-ring. Yeah, whatever, I will pay this turn. Hey, life gain. I miscounted somewhere. I thought I had 6 after paying for grass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is awkward. So should I just, like, Night of Autumn gain some life now? Or do I actually just... Alright, so if I do this way, this gives me life, right? That turns this back on as a card. That then gives me more mana. I have to get a white source if I want to O-ring. And I think I do want to O-ring. Alright, we are now at a much safer life total. and we played around death by Reality Smasher. So you presumably take the cast out. No, I feel like we're a pretty heavy favorite to win. Like, my opponent takes the cast out. I pay 2 to keep my Elephant Grass for another turn. Ooh, no. We're not going to think about all this dust, okay? Like, we're just not. So now this plays around Reality Smasher yet again. Please don't all is dust me. Looks bad. Womp womp. So, like, we couldn't beat the all is dust there no matter what, since they already had the Reality Smasher. So, that's okay. I don't mind losing there. Yeah, that was a good death. Totally fine with that. We're not going to go, like, Nether Void deep to try to stop that in the future before someone suggests that. I guess this is fine. I would really like to draw a second land, though. But the rest of this hand is good enough that I don't think I can toss it back. Like, we have the Destiny Spinner for if my opponent just opens up on Chalice. Yeah. So... how greedy am I? The greedy play is play Enchantress this turn and then Destiny Spinner next turn. But it's so awkward if my opponent Thought-Knot Seers, so I'm not gonna play into that. Would it be great if we had Dryad Arbor? I mean, all in all, happy with that exchange. I need to draw cards to hit lands. So I could just plan on Abundant Growth and Wild Growthing this. This is a redraw. This is Acceleration. Or I can just play my Enchantress this turn and start going nuts from there. I'm going to go ahead and go the Enchantress route. But I think the lines are pretty close. My opponent ends up like ripping a Thought Knot off the top, though. Like, this is the card that I want to have in play. Alright. We can always yield to Chalice of the Void. I'm not sure what you mean. We're just going to name green here. And continue to abundant growth all of the things. Alright, I've already played a land. Great. The stream this morning went very well. Note that the one from this morning is not on YouTube. It is only on Twitch due to some technical difficulties. I will take 8. Alright. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. I can make it 6 with this. So I think I'm going to be Oblivion Ringing a Reality Smasher and setting up to Doomwake and wipe my opponent's board the following turn. So now I just have 3 mana available. I just want to play another Destiny Spinner out. Do I just want to play an Enchantress's Presence? You mean Exile, Simian Spirit, Elder Spirit Guide. No, we don't. Geoff and Galarium, as well as Diluted Fruitcake. Thank you all for following. I hope you're enjoying the content. Another Reality Smasher is very awkward for me. So I need to keep the Destiny Spinner in play. For Chalice reasons. So that probably means I need to chump block here and go to 2. We are indeed outdrawing the opponent. We are also going down to 1 life. So Ballista would be a touch rough. A wasteland. All right, we've played around that. That's fine. Am I going to play around third Reality Smasher? Yes. Look, we're losing to an All Is Dust at any point in this match. Like, let's make that clear. We cannot play around that card. It just beats us. That's how it goes. If they don't have it, we can win. All right, I need to play 5 enchantments this turn if I want to get rid of Reality Smasher. So I probably need more card draw if I'm going to make that happen. And then we'll try. There's one. Let's take a white with that. All right, 2 more. Abundant Growth is 1. Shoot. All right, Abundant Growth draw. Give me a 1-drop. Oh, baby, yes. I like it. So I can attack, leave back enough to block a Reality Smasher so I don't die. There we go. So discard, discard, discard. I should have discarded something else too. Whatever, we'll redraw lands. Okay. Is that a 15? That's a 15/15. That's a cool feeling. This is 4 to activate. Yeah, you get your creature, and then I'm going to turn 30 power of land sideways. GG's. All right. In my set review, I said that I thought Destiny Spinner was a good card. I will now say that I underestimated this card. And that this card is the Stone Cold Nuts. Like, the ability, yes, for Destiny's Child to do some singing and make all of your creatures and enchantments uncounterable is just nuts. Like, my opponent played a Chalice on 1 both games, which normally is cripplingly good against Enchantress. and we just ignored it by playing Destiny Spinner. We did not even, like, in game 1 there, we had the ability to seal Primordium, the Chalice, and we just didn't. I'm not sure that our deck is built optimally, but I'm pretty sure if you put some work into this shell, you would see some crazy results from Destiny Spinner. Yeah, I know. Like, I just ignored a Chalice 2 games in a row. That's crazy. And I also won through just, like, some crazy states there. Like, Chad had no faith in me during game 2, and I very, very nearly brought that one back. We have not done anything with the Clothis yet. Yes, I have seen that version. I thought that version was more cute than good. I did not want to play it. I played against this player earlier today, so I should remember what they're on. But I don't put mental energy into doing that. So I'll just whack the keep button on my hand. Well, not all versions play All Is Dust, right? So I'm not too worried about that. And Eldrazi is also not particularly a common matchup these days. Alright, so looks like we're playing against Delver. We still have, like, plenty of very good cards for the matchup. My opponent has probably just shuffled away any lightning bolts that they have. And keeping that in mind, I'm going to do this. Alright. So much for my logic. Maybe opponent is aware of the Destiny Spinner tech. But normally, Bolt is a pretty terrible card in this matchup. Let's play one around a second daze here. This also plays around Force of Negation, specifically. And we have a long pause. I don't understand the long pause, because if you have any sort of counter magic, you just, like, pitch it. Alright, so they have Force and pitched a Daze. So opponent has answered 2 must-answer cards and 1 thing that's fine to answer. Interesting. I'm going to play into a daze because my opponent has already shown us 2. So I've used the thing that's more expensive, so that if I draw a 1-drop next turn, I can have the ability to just go, like, Enchantress into play 1-drop, draw 2 cards. We'll be looking for an elephant grass to stop the shenanigans going on the other side of the battlefield. Why expose the land to waste? Because if things go our way, we are going to draw a crap ton of cards. And as of right now, Sarah's Sanctum is the same as Savannah. So, like, if we're just going to get wastelanded anyway, might as well get it out of the way. I have played this turn in a way that draws me the most cards. These green suns have really seemed to suck tonight. So honestly, now that we're playing Destiny Spinners and we have more things to do, it's possible that, like, you can cut on the green suns harder than what I'm doing right now. But just, like, the green suns not being enchantments has been so relevant. Yikes. No, survival is not legal. All right. Not in love with my situation here. Never mind, my situation's fine. So now I'll get rid of this because it represents direct damage to my face. And then hope my opponent hasn't found that daze. Technically, they didn't find the daze. Rawl 1013, thank you very much for following. I'm taking 6 if I don't block with Enchantress. Yeah, opponent indeed had it. Why are you brainstorming in response to a Utopia Sprawl? Ooh, okay. So we have some potential spice incoming next turn. We do have to live. I'm dead to a lightning bolt. So that is 7. 7 is fine. 7 is not 8. Third bolt of the game, third bolt of the game. All right. So we're playing against a blue-red Delver deck. So carpets are going to be good. Chokes are going to be good. Veils are going to be okay. I'll potentially play them. I also might just play Knight of Autumn as something that just randomly gains me some life. I will consider the Nether Void if I find out like that we have tons and tons of things that we want to board out, but this is really there for like any combo deck. So I probably want to junk this. Probably want to junk the Ground Seal and the Seal of Primordium. Honestly, like, Veil should probably not even be in this deck, if I'm being honest, just because Destiny Spinner's so good. We should just be playing a fourth one of that, either in the main deck or the sideboard. Probably the main deck, though. I probably don't need to give my enchantments Shroud. That would really just be giving Destiny Spinner Shroud. Yeah, Spinner is way better than Emrakul. So this gets me Carpets, Chokes, and Knight of Autumn. And I think we don't play Veil of Summer. We are not going to board in Rest in Peace. We're going to keep Replenish. Replenish is pretty sick. Keep. Hand is gas. Fetch an island for me, friend. You didn't. So I'm going to wait a turn for this Carpet of Flowers. I'm going to try to bait something out of my opponent here. So I jam this into Daze. That means my opponent will fetch an island. They'll probably, like, Daze this. Ooh, they'll Spell Snare it. That I was not expecting. But this is fine. So this means that a resolved Carpet of Flowers will guarantee start to net me mana. Especially since my opponent is incentivized to get Volcanic Island to cast whatever 2-drop they're going to cast. Surgical Extraction on my Enchantress is slightly annoying. Not much that I can do about that. However, I think we'll be okay. Like, the card quality that I have is nutty. Haha, opponent did not have force. Do I try to Mise into a land? I think I do. Yes. I will add green. Do I just want more mana, or do I want to jam the Destiny Spinner and make my opponent deal with that? It's tricky because the Destiny Spinner plays into Daze. But I think that's okay. Like, something's got to get dazed eventually. And if it doesn't get dazed, then hey, none of the rest of my stuff gets dazed. Yeah, so now my opponent needs to cantrip for a bolt to get rid of this. Otherwise, they're eating a Doomwake Giant on their turn. And a Resolve Doomwake Giant, I think, just ends the game on the spot. Nice. Doomwake Giant now resolves. You think they realized that? I don't think they realized that. Because they saw it, so they should know. So this is 3, 4, 5 mana, and it's uncounterable. This is good. This deck's good. We should play this deck more. Yeah. Yeah. So that was cool. I enjoyed that. Carpet of Flowers. Really glad I shoved that back into the deck. Oh, and you're back for me, friend. I appreciate your support. This is how highly I respect Carpet of Flowers. I'm keeping this hand. My opponent has mulligan to 5 as well. We do not play a Dryad Arbor. I do need to play it into the days, unfortunately. Oh, man. It just resolved. All right. And we're off. I don't have any other play that I can make this turn. I can use Carpet mana second main phase, but it doesn't do me any good. So my opponent's light on resources. We have a way to answer Delver, or a source of continuous life gain, and a way to draw cards. Yeah. We need to make some changes to the deck. Destiny Spinner has just completely changed this deck. So we'll play an Enchantress around a Daze, but into the Spell Snare. And then I'm fine just playing an Elephant Grass. Yeah, I wouldn't mind, say, playing a Green Sun or something like that, but 3 has felt awful. I'm fine with paying the upkeep on that, at least for one turn. Are we the baddie? Are we the baddie, chat? I can play around Double Daze by fetching now. So I guess I will. Nice. Now my opponent's in this weird cycle. Yeah, they're done. They're done. I think our deck is slightly misbuilt, but we're still just crushing it. This deck is so good. Like, Enchantress has always been something that's been fringe playable, that, like, grinds through the blue decks, but now you also gain the ability to, like, bully the Chalice decks and just have more must-answer cards. I am super impressed. So, like, I think Green Sun Zenith is really bad in this deck. The Replenish is a little mana hungry. We maybe don't even need that either. I'm gonna do a deck rebuild at the end where we talk about all of the things that I think should change about it. Narsa would be pretty good against us. Yeah, that's definitely true. Student Pilot, thank you very much for following. I'm going to go ahead and run to the restroom real quick. I will be right back, and then we'll go into round 4. We're currently undefeated at 3-0. Audio test, audio test. Okay, we're good to go. All right, so I'm back. Let's hop back into things. So we're currently 3-0. Now we have dropped a game in every match, but we have a very ridiculous ability to grind through just about everything that our opponent is throwing at us. Destiny Spinner, unquestionably the MVP of this stream so far. So impressed by that card. So let's ignore the sideboard. So underperformers so far have been Colossus, Sterling Grove, Green Sun. I don't know that the Replenish is actually necessary. This. So I think we have 9 cards that we can mess around with in this deck list as we choose. I'm going to admit that, like, we haven't played against a lot of, like, the Sterling Grove matchups where you do need to give your enchantments hexproof because your opponent can repeatedly answer them via, like, Abrupt Decay, Snapcaster, Abrupt Decay, or something like that. But I feel like you have a lot of wiggle room in what you're doing with this deck. Destiny Spinner, new Legacy staple, unquestionably. So the other thing I can do is just, like, +1 Spinner, plus maybe 3-ish Rest in Peace, +1 Helm, and I still have flex slots left after that. I don't hate that. Wouldn't mind a second Doomwake Giant. I cut one for the fun of Nether Void that we'll bring in if we play against literally any combo deck. Yeah, I don't know how worried we need to be about milling ourselves out with this build. Because if you control a Destiny Spinner, like, 4 mana is a win condition, at any point where you're close to decking. So this time the green sun is going to have to be an Enchantress. This is probably our first green sun that has actually looked really good. Alright, we are playing against Death and Taxes. I will Seal of Primordium that Vial, but I'm not going to do it this turn. I'm going to do it next turn. Do I want to play one of my Wild Growths out now to have more mana going into next turn? I think I do. Just makes my life easier if my opponent has Thalia. The one thing I will say to Green Sun's credit, and this hasn't come up yet, but we can also Green Sun for Destiny Spinner. And that means that Green Sun is both our engine and our win condition. So, like, maybe we haven't seen the best of Green Sun here. Setessan Champion is another thing that I can consider. No, I haven't tested. Death and Taxes doesn't play Ghost Quarter, so I'm not worried about that. I am going to play around like a future Rishadan port, though, by diversifying. Ooh. Oh, wait, no, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I can Enchantress's Presence, followed by Seal of Primordium, blow up the Ether Vial. Assuming that is still the thing that I want to do. And it's very likely that that's the thing that I want to do still. How do you like it when your removal spells cantrip twice? And even no mom. A Flicker Wisp on this land is slightly awkward, but not the end of the world. I think we're still at the stage where we just want infinite amounts of green mana. I don't know that I need to tutor for anything just yet. I think I just want to like churn through my deck more. I don't necessarily think this is the Clothis matchup. Do I just want to put a Destiny Spinner in play yet? Nah, I'll do that once I have the Sterling Grove in play so I don't get Swords to Plowshared. I'll put this one on white. For giggles. Alright. Junk that. Junk that. Junk that. We've come out really far ahead of our opponent here. The thing we're most scared of is a Sanctum Prelate coming down on 1. Yep. So it's coming. So we're going to play a Sterling Grove this turn. And leave it in play. And the plan is going to be Doomwake Giant my opponent into oblivion. The world is now our oyster due to solitary confinement. Black. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I can play a land and yep. Alright, GG opponent. Well played. My opponent has called rude. Yeah, that's fair, opponent. Nods. I have so many good cards. What do I do with all these cards? I still have to discard more after all of that? No, we're only going to board that in against combo decks, so we haven't gotten the meme going. I don't think my opponent can beat my Shrouded Doomwake Giant. I think that is just, like, actually impossible. Yep, they have come to the same conclusion. Alright, so that game, we had an opportunity where both Green Sun and Sterling Grove were good. So that's cool. Knight of Autumn, seems good. Collector Oof, seems good. We can consider Cast Out an Aura of Silence as well. So we don't want Ground Seal. What about this? This doesn't seem amazing against a Caracas deck. Like, it's fine against the small creature aspect, but turning this into a creature is going to be a downside in this matchup. Kind of. I guess they bounce it and then I, like, redraw cards. I lean towards no. So I definitely want these two. And the question is, like, how many different artifact hate cards am I supposed to bring in? Because right now I have Seal, Oof, Knight, as things, plus 2 Oblivion Rings as things that deal with artifacts. I think I ignore the Miri's Guile and just plan on drawing through whatever my opponent is doing. And then I guess we go down 1 green sun. And we'll just play a decent amount of answers. We may have to deal with Chalice or Deafening Silence or Thalia or Ports or Flicker Wisps. And just the more answers we have to these sorts of things, the better. Okay. So we use 2 mana to play Utopia Sprawl here. We will name green with that. And that essentially just resets this. And now we use 2 mana again to play a Utopia Sprawl over here. And now I think my opponent just like has to port that down. But if they port that down, they're not doing anything else with their turn. Yep, that sucks. The deck list is on screen. Click the cards. So this is 1, 2, 3. A land is 4 for Enchantress's Presence. However, I could also just green sun. And then this is a draw next turn. I don't love the way that we had to play into the Flicker Wisp there. And I also don't love the fact that we're going to get ported off with 2 more mana. Oh, good God. That second port is brutal. So I get to play out another land, but then these 2 get tapped down again. I'm going to need to draw something like an Elephant Grass. Opponent had very close to the nut draw against us. Ugh. So if opponent attacks with everything, I have to jump block with the Thalia. Sorry, with my Argothian Enchantress. But they might just leave the Mom back to prevent from, like, getting devastated. Nope. So now they have opened themselves up to removal. So our Oblivion Ring on the Thalia is live, and we'll see if we can get ourselves out of this. I'm going to get Wastelanded and ported off of these 2. Can Sarah's Sanctum bail us out? I can O-ring something. That doesn't do it. Yep, okay. Let's try that again, but with us on the play. When I'm on the play, I'm considering trimming one of the other cards that I brought in to bring back in the other green sun, because on the play, Oof is much stronger. Swarms of X1 creatures seem to be problematic, you say? It'd be real bad if we didn't have an answer for those. So I think I'm going to junk the Aura of Silence for a green sun when I'm on the play. So this is going to be one of those hands that doesn't particularly look amazing, but hopefully we go somewhere off of this. Opponent says, Thalia is much prettier than Argothian Enchantress, Phil. You should know better than messing around with so many basic forests like that. But basic forest tends to beat basic plains. Just saying. I'm going to optimize my draws here. No, I want spinner every game. Every single game. I hear you were talking some smack. Elephant grass is pretty good here. So we'll leave one green floating, play an Enchantress's Presence. A Sarah's Sanctum, that's very good. Not this turn, obviously, but for future turns, having access to that is just chef's kiss good. So right now it represents 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. Probably 5 mana. Yeah, this is not a problem yet. Nice. I'm going to go ahead and Sanctum here. Hoping... Actually, maybe I won't. So Sanctum will tap for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. No, I won't. I will. You'll figure it out. Watch what I'm doing. So now our Destiny Spinner has hexproof, which is going to be very relevant. Note, Prelate is more annoying than Chalice is, so I can't actually cast this. But that's fine. The plan is to win probably in 2 turns with Destiny Spinner. I can also just Sterling Grove right now, expose Destiny Spinner to Swords to Plowshares, and make it so I draw a Doomwake Giant next turn. Let's do that. So I think this is time to let the Elephant Grass go. My mana is probably going to be tight. So my opponent is not going to port me? Okay. I mean, cool. My opponent should have given protection there. That was definitely sloppy on their end. Alright, so I've already played my land. I can't play a 1-drop. Next turn I'll go crazy. So we'll O-Ring Prelate, and then kill Stoneforge Mystic with Abundant Growths. What do you think that's going to do? Nothing. Nothing. Fine and Andy. Think about it. We need to get this out so that we can cast our 1-drops. That's very important for us. We can replenish 2 things back, O-Ring something, then not have another. Can replenish 2 things. I don't know that I need to replenish 2 things. Let's just start working on getting more mana. GG's. So note that opponent did make an obvious mistake this game in that they just like cast their Chalice wrong by clicking through things quickly. That wouldn't have mattered though because of the Destiny Spinner. Yeah, so just like that, we are up to 4-0 with Enchantress. Also, fine and Andy, just back to the O-Ring situation. Sure, if they Flicker Wisp O-Ring, they get back, they can flicker out the O-Ring for a turn, get back Prelate, put it on 1, the O-Ring comes back at the end step, and then I get rid of Prelate again, right? So that's not actually going to do what they want. A Council Judgment could get rid of it, sure. But even just like 1 turn of me getting to cast the 1-drops in my hand is going to draw me into things that I can cast, like Replenish, Oof, Green Sun, O-Rig, excuse me, other removal spells and things of that nature. So I think it was a good line. Yeah, all in all, though, super impressed with this deck. There's still fine-tuning to be had. That's for sure. But this deck might be a real contender. Knight Rider, the answer is everything. What do we play against? We played against Blue-Red Delver. We played against Eldrazi. I don't remember what the other one was. GG, friend. You had to savage me in game 2, though. Jay the Mind Sculptor. Yes. You have to put together the deck list, though. I'm not gonna brew that from scratch. But as long as it is like a competitive Legacy deck, well, as long as it is playing Legacy power level cards, like I'm in. Yeah. So like you obviously messed up with the Chalice, but the Destiny Spinner would have allowed me to ignore the Chalice on 1 anyway. So, like, yes, that was a mistake, but you have to play the Stoneforge instead, although that didn't really do much anyway. So, I don't think your mistake mattered all that much. Yeah, I had no ability to play around it because I didn't have a 3rd land. So, like, that just was what it was. I had to play those out, and if you had the Wisp or you had the Port, it was gonna sting. I mean, Ashiok is pretty cool. I like Ashiok. I've Dark Ritualed out some Ashioks in my days. And folks, I hope you have enjoyed this stream tonight as much as I have, because I am having a blast. I mean, I would love to be the person who helps to put Destiny Spinner on the map. I don't know if there are any Destiny Spinner 5.0s yet. Probably for lack of people playing it rather than for it being good. Yeah, fine and Andy. This is going to be one of those things that your locals are going to play against, and you are just going to, like, totally get them for them not having matchup knowledge. Like, oh no, I've boarded out the Swords of Plowshares, and it's Destiny Spinner. Here to ruin me. We will keep this hand. We'll be looking to draw another land, which has been the case with many of our opening hands tonight. So maybe we're supposed to be playing one more land than I am. So the thing about every land that you play is that it makes your future draws worse while making your opening hands better. Don't stifle me, please. Well, at least you've been watching me play. That's worth something. I am at least decent at Magic. Delver again? Spells like Delver. A Delver that does nothing on the first 2 turns is weird, so maybe Sneak Attack. Hey. These are awkward situations where, like, I'm only on the single land opener and I have to make the choice turn 2 about whether I play out an Enchantress or whether I continue to develop my mana. Grexis Delver? Days Hardcast? Days Hardcast. But no opening threat from my opponent. So they might have been keeping a pretty shaky 6. Land, please. Eh. So I'm not sure that I want to play my second Enchantress into Daze. So keeping that in mind, I'm going to develop my mana a little bit. I have 2 different Enchantress effects in play here. So I'm okay with just, like, developing my mana this turn so that I can start doing things next turn. So, like, now next turn I have the ability to, if I don't draw a land, I have the ability to Enchantress followed by Sprawl followed by Grass and get a couple of draws out of it. If I wanted to make myself smaller than I am, I'd just change the zoom function on my webcam. It's that easy. Actually super happy to have the land here. We're in match 5. We are currently 4-0. This deck is tasty. All right. Am I okay with this? I think I'm okay with this. It's awkward if I walk this into a Daze or Pierce, but if this does get countered, it means my opponent basically has nothing over there. And if it does get countered, I can just sack a Sterling Grove to get a Enchantress's Presence on a later turn. I am on Hardcast Force of Negation. Yes. I think I need the draw. The draw is very good. we've made it relatively deep into this game. Gurmag Angler, man, I have bad news for you. You are not gonna like this. Actually, let me think about that Utopia Sprawl draw. So this is 4 mana. I use 3 of it to put Enchantress's Presence on top of my deck. Yeah, I don't want to play this yet. So now we don't want to play it yet, because we don't want to expose it to Thoughtseize. Nice. So this isn't like GG or anything, but we're at a huge, huge advantage. Like, my opponent could Brazen Borrower the Elephant Grass at a weird time and, like, attack me for a bunch of damage or something. Like, my opponent can play a Young Pyromancer, start trying to go wide of me. Like, there's outs for my opponent. I can consider just Green Sun for Destiny Spinner, but I think just vomiting another one of these into play is fine. At this point, I don't really care if my spells get countered. Like, everything's just drawing me cards. That does get bolted if my opponent has one of those. But if they don't, so I believe I have 3 copies of Elephant Grass. Is that correct? I do. So I'll be looking to draw into a new Elephant Grass or a Doomwake Giant in the not-too-distant future. Opponent either doesn't know how Elephant Grass works at an advanced level, or is holding up Hardcast Force of Will. Whew. That's good. Let's tap this. It produces a bunch of green. We'll put that there. We'll draw some cards. At this point, do I just name black for that? No, there's abundant growth on that already. So we can just name green for that. So it looks like that is going to get my opponent's last card. That's fine. Alright. So I can just get a Destiny Spinner and then just use that to finish off my opponent. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 enchantments. I'm going to use the draw from Miri's Guile first, though. Yeah, we're okay with losing the mana. That's fine. Opponent wants to keep playing this for longer. I commend their tenacity. I'm just going to redeploy a new Elephant Grass, and my opponent can't counter it. So I think I'm just going to let this one go. So my goal here is to use my draws to just get me to a Sanctum, and then I have a kill this turn. So I'll want to draw through this. A replenish. Do I just start attacking? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I can just make a giant dude and start attacking. This doesn't stop me from attacking, right? Yeah. Maybe we stop messing around and just, like, work on killing them. This does give my land haste, right? It does give it haste. So let's just, like, play this, fetch, get a forest, target that forest, pay for it, create a 13/13 monster. Still have some leftover mana. Let's make my monster bigger, shall we? Does that sound fun? I think that sounds fun. Pew! It's very possible we could have just, like, literally killed our opponent by, like, sequencing that more optimally and, like, trying to churn through more of the deck, but it seemed like it was there and available, so might as well go for it. Food is green. Thank you very much for following. I hope you're enjoying the content. Alright. So Choke and Carpet of Flowers seem quite good. Rest in Peace is also probably good enough, in that it's going to stop Gurmag Angler from being cast and also stop Dreadhorde Arcanist from flashing stuff back. So we'll probably board that too. And we may even consider Teague to have a green sunnable source of life gain. Oh yeah, let me look at that. Okay. Yeah, that's a ruling I will have to double check later. I'm not sure if that is set at time or if that's like a Tarmogoyf type ability where it is changing. I think it's changing. I mean, I could obviously like go back and watch 10 seconds of the video and figure that out for sure. All right, so if I'm bringing in Rip, I board out Replenish. I'm going to start with this staying in the sideboard. Ground Seal, obviously not at its best here. I think I keep trimming the Miri's Guile. I think I trim a Green Sun. Oh, and the Seal. I knew there was something else that was easy. Night of Autumn now. I think I'm going to leave Night of Autumn in the board. I think Night of Autumn and Sterling Grove are probably similar in terms of quality. But Sterling Grove protects Destiny Spinner from Bolt and lets me find the Doomwake Giant. So I think this is fine. Alright, so it's just XX at the time of activation. Okay. Good to know. Night of Autumn and Clothis are probably pretty similar in terms of card quality. Alright, we have the best card in our deck in our hand, so we keep. Opponent does not keep a hand with a force. I'm probably not exaggerating when I say we just win. I guess it can be days as well. If opponent has played against Carpet of Flowers before, they would know to counter this. Oh man. It resolved. And we're off to the races. So the way Carpet of Flowers works is if you haven't added mana this turn, you can add mana. So when you play it on turn 1 and it actually resolves, you can get mana immediately from it. Now, we really wish that would have been a mana accelerator instead of a mana fixer, but that's fine. We have so much going for us now. So I'm going to have between 3 and 4 mana next turn as things stand right now. But this will potentially change. Like if my opponent fetches off that Ponder and finds any sort of island, we just get another mana. No shuffle with the Ponder. Excuse me. Yes, we will take our green mana. So I have 3 mana available to me this turn. But I can kind of cheat and make it more. We're going to Utopia Sprawl this land. We'll take another green out of that. And I don't think I'm going to expose an Enchantress's presence to a Daze this turn. I think I'm just going to shut off the graveyard and then play an Elephant Grass. It exposes the Elephant Grass to Daze, but I've shut off an angle of resources for my opponent, which I'm pretty happy about. I'm also somewhat surprised the Elephant Grass resolved. I'm happy about it, obviously. I'm also not sure that my opponent can attack now. Let's see. I know sometimes there's weird moto timings with how some of these things work. I think, no, it's you have to have both mana available when you go to declare attackers. That's what it is. So you, like, can't fetch in declare attackers to make it work. I would like to draw, I guess, most things are just good. So we go 4 Enchantress's Presence, which has resolved. So we'll Abundant Growth one of these forests, start drawing some cards. Would like to draw a forest here. Alright, we're a little stuck on mana. But that's okay. So I get a few turns to find an answer to this Delver. So I'm going to get... So right now I have access to 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. I will presumably draw a land with some of my draws. Do I want to keep the Elephant Grass in play? This is a big decision. If I just let it go, I can draw a staggering number of cards this turn. But it will also open up my opponent's mana to work towards finding another bolt. So for example, if I don't pay for it, I can make 3 mana off carpet, play an Argothian Enchantress, followed by Wild Growth. Take 2 cards out of that. Still have not made my land drop. I think I need to find a more permanent answer to either Delver or to my life total. And I think I'm going to opt not to pay for this. Sterling Grove can find me Solitary Confinement if I keep 3 mana for it. So 1, 2, 3. All of this can find me Sterling Grove for Solitary Confinement, and then we're good. But I can't also play that this turn. Let me confirm that. So this would be 1, 2, 3 mana for it. Crack it, have 1 left over. No, I also cannot play it this turn. So I'll want to leave it on top of my library. So I can go 1, 2, 3. I can just play another Enchantress effect. And then crack Sterling Grove in my upkeep on my turn. I can also just play an Abundant Growth and try to draw into like a Destiny Spinner, which would be very, very strong. Yeah, actually I'm going to play towards that. Alright, nice. Oh my god, Carpet is nuts. Okay. So we're going to turn off auto yields. Cast Carpet. In response to casting Carpet, sacrifice Sterling Grove. This allows me to cast a Solitary Confinement this turn. Yeah, that was real spicy. Awkwardly, this does play into a Daze. But I don't think my opponent has that at this point. They may have like a Force or something. Alright, bolt me in response. No counterspell. I now do not think that we can lose. I don't know how that would happen, other than, like, decking myself. No, I can't deck myself with Solitary Confinement in play. I have so much mana. Yes. Green. Yes. Green. Let's put a black there. Alright, you have Force pitching a Force. Resolves. What about the second Destiny Spinner, though? Okay, so now it's 4 to activate this. So this is 4. Can turn that into a creature. Let's do one other thing first, though. Let's put a Sterling Grove into play. Oh. Well, let's turn this land into a dude. Play a land. I'm just going to hit my opponent for 13, call it a turn. Yeah, I don't understand why some of my stuff resolved. If my opponent, like, had force to pitch force. Actually, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I mean, that is a very good point. Prevent all damage that would be done to you. I will discard an Enchantress. I won't use the Sterling Grove as a tutor. Just like giving all my stuff hexproof is so good. Yes. Green. Yes. Green. Green sun. Hex equals 2. Done. Wouldn't you know? It's my boy Destiny Spinner. You're a dude? And you're a dude? Everybody's a dude. I'm real happy about that. I'm real happy about that. So, closing thoughts on the deck after I rehydrate a bit. All right, number 1. And if you've been in this stream for more than 10 minutes, you probably figured this out. Destiny Spinner is an MVP in this deck. I am incredibly impressed by that card. There needs to be a 4th in the main deck. Absolutely, unquestionably. The presence of Destiny Spinner may also mean that another copy of Sarah's Sanctum is in order. So, I don't think the Green Suns are amazing. They've clunked up my hand a lot. But, as we saw that game, the ability to turn it either into an Enchantress or a Destiny Spinner is probably fine, and I was probably on the wrong side of like the matchups and such early on. It's also just another copy of your Teague or your Oof for the matchups that those just win. So like I'm gonna give the Green Suns a pass for earlier. Similarly, I was not hot on the Sterling Groves earlier, but they did some work in later rounds. I would probably like to replace these 4 cards. Every time that we had Replenish in hand, we could just win without it. That was kind of the thing. Like, Replenish gets better the longer the game goes, but this whole deck gets better the longer the game goes. So, I think the Colossus and Replenish should go. So this may sound a little weird, but I think you're supposed to play like 2 Carpet of Flowers main deck and sideboard them out when they're bad, just because Carpet is so stupid good as a mana accelerator. And there were a lot of times where I really just wanted some more things to just funnel into my Enchantress effects. So if I were going to rebuild this, I would probably junk Ground Seal for Rest in Peace. I would probably play 2 Carpet of Flowers and then 1 more Destiny Spinner. So I'm probably going to play this again. So I'm gonna write down those changes now. So past fill says -1 Colossus, -1 Replenish, -1 Seal, -1 Ground Seal, +1 Destiny Spinner, +1 Rip, +2 Carpet. So that's the main deck changes. 4th main deck Elephant Grass. 3 seems fine to me. I want to have access to a Bayou for a Doomwake Giant, and that's going to come up when we get to the changes in the sideboard. All right, so changes in the sideboard. I thought we were playing a deck that was going to be kind of a meme deck, and then I was wrong, and this deck is actually insane. So in the sideboard, we're going to go -1 Void, and we're going to play another Doomwake, because that card was really good. And then we don't need the Veil of Summers. They are just not necessary with Destiny Spinner in the deck. Yeah, I'm going to play more of this deck. Not immediately, but like you can bet within the next week or so that I will play this deck again. That was so fun. So I kind of want more anti-combo cards in these Veil of Summer slots, because it seems like we're good on the fair stuff. So chat, help me out. What do we play to hate on combo a little bit more? Because we have Green Sun for Teague, we have like a Rest in Peace, we have the ability to race them, but if my opponent is playing just like spell-based combo, what do I play? Deafening Silence is awkward when I'm this like combo deck. Is there anything that's one-sided that just like costs more mana? Because I'm fine with it costing like 3. I have so many acceleration things. Stony Silence? I have the Oof, right? So I already tutor for the Oof. In the Eye of Chaos. Is that the counter it unless they pay double its cost? Is that correct? Fine and Andy, that's not a bad suggestion. So the idea is to have more cards that can hate on like Breach, Ant, TES, Belcher, those sorts of things. Ooh, a Leyline. Like a Leyline of Sanctity? Ooh. I don't hate that. It's not crazy good, because they can still just, like, goblins you. But that's good. Yeah, Into the Eye of Chaos might not do enough versus Breach. It probably does enough versus Ant Tess or Belcher. Well, Belcher has a lot of creature-based mana. Oh, Dryad Militant, the 2/1 that stops instants and sorceries from being put into the graveyard. That's fine against Breach specifically. Okay, so hear me out, chat. I know I've crapped on Green Sun a lot tonight, but is it reasonable to put the 4th Green Sun in the board? Because Teague and Oof are both very, very good in those matchups, whereas some of my things like Oblivion Ring, Doomwake Giant aren't necessarily going to be. So do I just put a 4th Green Sun in the board for when I need to hate on combo? I have mixed thoughts on the Dryad Arbor, Arkin, but I know what you mean. I think the Dryad Arbor is going to be less necessary if I move Carpets into the main deck. That gives me more acceleration in most of my matchups. All right, so I'm going to put a 4th Green Sun in the board, but then I still have 1 slot. So the Taiga was originally an Ancient Tomb. Null Rod. Ooh. Marduk. That's a great suggestion. Like, really. That hates on Belcher, Ant, TES, Breach, Taxes, Red Prison. Yeah. Home run, Null Rod. If Aegis of the Gods was green, so I could also Green Sun for it, I think I would like that better. Yeah, I really, really think this deck is powerful. And I think if the combo matchups are good, and we didn't play a lot of that, but like if the combo matchups are fine, and I mean just like fine, we probably end up with a very powerful deck. All right, so I do need to cut the Taiga if I'm going to remove Clothis, so I do need to add a new land. It could be the Ancient Tomb, but I think I'm going to respect my life total more and just play another land that does not hurt me. It's going to be a green source since we're adding the Carpets. The question is, should it be a forest, a fetch, or a savanna? Ill with Phil, in my experience, if you have resolved a Doomwake Giant with Enchantress against any sort of fair deck where Doomwake Giant is good in the first place, you already win. I just don't really want to expose my mana acceleration to Dryad Arbor. I'm just like not super hot on Dryad Arbor as a card. I try to avoid putting it in my decks. Like, we don't have to ramp from 1 to 3 since we're going to have so many good 2-drop effects. Ramping to 3 essentially lets us, like, Enchantress's presence a turn early, which is cool, or Green Sun if we have a second one. Like, I'm not stoked about that. I'm going to tentatively say it's supposed to be +1 fetch, just to, like, marginally help out with us finding our Bayou or Savannah when we need it. The land that makes things uncounterable is Cavern of Souls. Cavern of Souls doesn't cast all these cards, though. Calyx is something that I talked about in my set review, where I thought that card might be playable. But I don't know that I want to mess with Perfection. This shell seems really good, and I think, giving it more thought, Calyx might just be something that plays to the end game when my end game is already very strong. So I'm not sure that it's necessary. We're not splashing blue as of right now. Mindbreak Trap doesn't really count as splashing. All right, folks, what an amazing stream. Thank you all for joining me tonight. I'm going to go ahead and throw in the towel. I'm going to be back tomorrow morning with Stasis. Yeah, I know. Stasis. It's going to be fun. So thank you for the support you all have shown me, especially those of you who are, continuing to subscribe, give donations, and all of that. It means a lot. And whoever said they were going to send me that mono black deck, I look forward to that donation. I grabbed the link from chat earlier. So thank you for that. I'm going to send you over to my good friend XJ Cloud, who presumably is playing some D&T.